I'm pretty sure I fell asleep teaching a couple of times. And the kids were like, "You're asleep." And I'd be like, "No, I'm not."
I'm here.
Yeah. I think when the parents called up once and was like, "Apparently your teacher was asleep." I was like,
Oh, no.
"No, I wasn't." Do it now.
Right now. For all those millennials out there, you know exactly what song that is.
Right here, right now.
No.
Fatboy Slim.
No.
Oh, the other one.
Mm-hmm. Hey, it's been a while.
It's been so long.
We've had about, I think about 3 weeks off.
I think you're right. I think we had about 2 or 3 weeks off because we needed it.
We needed it, and also it's just have been in a lot of pain. I've got chronic back and neck issues, and have not been able to even like contemplate doing anything after work, let alone it's just been mental.
That's right. But we're back.
We're back. And
cheers to that.
Cheers. So we started a TikTok page, if you guys want to follow. It's the Offstage Life Podcast. And what happened?
You touched
your drink.
It touched my champagne.
And
I'm going to move it.
It's been really crazy to see what people actually like.
So what happened was one morning we were watching a Johnny Farnham video and had a full natural reaction to it. And then we're like, let's film this. And then you posted it on TikTok. What happened next?
It just blew up. Like that was about 3 weeks ago. And we've been getting constant likes, constant comments, constant views. And I just am honestly like, we were literally in our pajamas in bed after a gig, only had like 4 hours sleep, filmed this reaction video that took like 10 minutes to do, edit and post. And I'm just like, so we do that.
It was so lo-fi. And I had flu as well. So my voice is like, oh, sound like my voice is breaking like I'm a teenage boy or something.
It was just mental. So that was the first thing. And then we've also interviewed our friend Jess, who's just awesome. And she's not a musician. But she's a creative person and has really awesome different interests. So she was on the podcast. That's our last episode. And that's blown up as well.
Yeah, it's a good time.
So like, let us know what you guys want us to talk about, because it seems like the more random stuff.
I think just people's lives.
Yeah, or the most,
their hobbies.
Normal stuff.
Just getting to know that people do random stuff that you can connect with from a really weird perspective.
But the Johnny Farnham and TikTok video was mental, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And he's like one of my idols as well. So I was like, yes, he's blowing up on TikTok on our page.
Thank you, Johnny.
Anyway, so this is episode 9.
I was going to say, is it 9?
It is 9, which is insane I can't believe this is our 9th episode.
So we probably been doing this for about 12 weeks then.
Yeah.
3 months.
Approximately. And I really wanted to delve into a bit more about Kate's first
previous
job.
Life.
Really. It was your first your first job was when you were younger and worked in Wilko's in England. Was it Wilko's?
No, I worked at a cafe at a canal centre. And then I worked at what's a bit like Wilko's from England, but it was called Woolworths.
Okay.
And it's not the grocery store if you're listening in Australia.
Yeah, completely different.
Yeah.
But it was your first proper.
It was
after high school, college
job. Yeah.
Yeah. But I just wanted to give a bit of context before we actually start. So Kate went from high school straight into music college.
I feel like this is your life program.
Yeah. Majored in contemporary music. And most like musicians, straight out of that, you didn't go straight into touring. You actually started teaching drums.
Yeah.
You built your own teaching business from scratch privately. Well, first you actually started teaching in schools.
Peripatetic in schools, yeah.
What?
Peripatetic?
What's peripatetic?
Like a mobile drum teacher.
Oh, never heard of that. Then you started teaching privately for yourself.
Yep.
Also while playing in the Itchy Tits.
The Itchy Tits All Girl Punk Show.
And then later the Ramonas, juggling both worlds the whole time. And then I think that's the part that people don't really see, like the music on stage, but everything that supports it happens off stage.
Yeah.
So today we're going to talk about that era of you, the drum teaching era. And you're here to spill the tea about being a drum teacher because it is a full-on different world. So what's something about being a drum teacher that people would actually be shocked to know?
If you work for, and this is my experience in England, if you work for a company that I guess are kind of like your agents in a way, like they find you the work and then you teach them. The pay's not that good.
No.
You work for yourself, as with a lot of professions, then you get a lot more of that money that you're charging after expenses. So it's better to just start your own business up.
So how much were you getting paid? This was back 20 years ago, maybe longer.
Oh, when I first started?
Yeah.
I can't remember. It wasn't a lot though. I feel like it was like £12.50 or something.
Which is $25 an hour.
Yeah, it wasn't a lot. When I first started teaching, I think I got a car allowance, like a driving allowance as well. And when I started teaching privately, I think I was charging £20 an hour. And then I think over the years I put that up to about £30 an hour. So, yeah.
Well, they're paying for your experience as well.
Well, yeah.
Now, was there ever a moment you thought, this is not what I imagined?
It's really weird talking about drum teaching because it's been a really long time since I did it. It's hard to think back and remember.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
So what else would people be shocked to know?
A lot of the time when I was teaching privately, the parents ended up taking lessons as well because it was something maybe on their bucket list that they had always wanted to do. So they like encouraged their kids to have drum lessons. And then they were like, oh, maybe I can do that too. It doesn't sound that difficult. So I chat to the parents after, and a lot of the time they'd end up having lessons too.
That's cool.
Some of them, you know.
Yeah. Was there ever a moment you thought, this is not what I imagined my music career to be like?
When kids,
or to look like?
Yeah, like when kids, you're teaching kids at school as like an external provider who's come in, and the kids are just like kicking off because they're ADHD or they've had a bad day or they're teenagers and they're grumpy. And I've got in that situation like no behavior control from the point of view they're at school, and just not listening, running around the room, being crazy. It's like, why am I doing this?
When I was a dancer, when I was a teenager, it's one of those things, if you're a good dancer, you end up like you to try being like a student teacher.
Right.
And all the dancers out there that's listening or watching, you will understand they're called student teachers. And I fucking hated it. I did it a few times and I hated every second of teaching.
Yeah, you don't kind of, you're not drawn to that kind of thing, are you?
In my professional adult career, I love training other people.
Yeah.
Like I've always ended up being like a mentor. But when it came when I was younger and teaching people, like teaching kids, I had zero patience.
Yeah.
Running around, not listening to me. I was just like, fuck this.
Yeah, it's really hard to, I guess it's the same as being on stage and like commanding the attention of an audience. Like you have
How do you
to,
command attention of a 5-year-old
yeah,
trying to teach them drums?
it's really hard. Like I see teachers trying to do it in the classroom now, and it's it's a real art form to control the attention of other human beings, however many of them are in the room, like, so that they're interested in what you're trying to teach them. Like, you have to be a really good purveyor of, like, just to communicate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's difficult.
What was the most chaotic lesson you ever had that had absolutely nothing to do with music?
Well, this kind of ties into what I was just saying, actually. So the situation I'm thinking of is there was a school that so I graduated music college and I got this job teaching drums in schools. I had just passed my driver's license and bought a car and got this job, and they're like, you're going to drive 45 minutes away on the M25, the M40, all these motorways in England that are busy.
They are hectic,
like 5-6 lane motorways. I had this shitty Peugeot car that when it rained, the back footwells used to fill with water. I broke down like 4 or 5 times, not over exaggerated, in that car on those motorways.
So was this on the way to lessons? Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, on the way there or the way back. So I mean, I was scared to do that drive in the first place because I'd just passed my driving license. And then, obviously having a car that was unreliable didn't help, but that's just what I had to do. So I'm at this school somewhere up in Buckinghamshire in the UK, and I had this toy drum kit. It's the best way to describe it. This toy drum kit that I had in the boot of my car, and I would bring
really little
in and out. Yeah, tiny, tiny little thing. And I'd bring it in and out of the school to teach. And it was kind of kit where you'd probably hit the high tom and the whole thing would like fall over, but it's all I had and it did the trick. So I'm trying to teach 2 kids had a joint lesson, and one of them was just off chops. He was like, I don't know, but like to me, it seemed like he was full ADHD, and he'd obviously had a day. This one kid's trying to play was actually pretty good, and this other one literally
the whole time.
And he was running. We were in like this separate like building, this like unit, like demountable. And he was running out the door, round the whole thing, found this other back door, came in, and he literally was just doing loops.
Sounds like me when I was a kid.
Yeah, maybe. And let's call him Dominic. I can't remember this kid's name. I'm like, Dominic, I think you should come in and sit down now. And he's literally like, no. So that was challenging. Because I was young too. I was like 19.
You're a baby yourself.
I don't know how to deal with this situation. There were no teachers around from the school. And and then I think the parents...
Were they at private schools or public schools?
No, just a regular school.
Do they do that here in Australia?
No idea.
Have you ever seen it at school?
Not at my school.
Oh.
I would imagine they probably do.
Maybe at private schools.
Get, external teachers in to teach instruments, but it's not something that I've seen personally.
Yeah. So that was probably one of your most...
Yeah, that was a really chaotic lesson. Yeah.
So you sort of... The next segment is about how it all really started, but you sort of briefly touched on that, music college, straight into drum teaching. But I guess what I'd like to know is what made you start teaching straight out of school? What did you, like, why?
I'd say it just felt like the most sensible thing to do.
Sensible. Okay.
My parents are both teachers, retired now. So it was a profession that I was familiar with. I would go into their schools on inset days at my school. Like, I was familiar with the whole education thing. I loved drumming. The two just seemed to go well together. I think at that point, there'd been some kid down the road that knew my parents from school that I was teaching on a Saturday at my house. So I'd had a little bit of experience of it.
Yeah.
And we had a owner of a local music company come in and do a talk at college about his company and all the different instruments that they offered in schools in all the local counties. so I networked a little bit and sent a CV to him. So then when I came around to leaving college, they had an opening for a drum teacher. And I just said yes, because that's one of the main things they teach at music college. You
just say yes to every opportunity.
You get offered something, you just say yes, and then you figure out how the hell you're going to do it after, which is a really good piece of advice.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. And as I said before, I'd only just passed my driving license. So the whole thing was really scary. I did a couple of days out on the field with him where I would like follow him in my car to all these different schools. This is before we had smartphones with internet and maps that
Google
would,
Maps.
read stuff out. So I had a paper map that I had to find all these tiny little villages.
You would have been so scared.
I was so scared. I think it was winter, so it was dark by the time I was coming
frosty.
home. I wasn't familiar with motorways and what exits to take and what road signs to look out for. And I remember one of my first solo trips to work on the way home. It was dark. It was absolutely pissing it down, like full storm style. And I was on a motorway. I think it was maybe the M4. And I didn't know what exit I was meant to be taking off. And I just remember driving towards Cardiff, which is Wales, thinking,
oh, this is not home.
This is not the right direction.
Nowhere fucking near home.
I live on the outskirts of London and I'm heading west towards Cardiff. And I remember pulling over, freaking out, not knowing if I'd pulled over on like the slip road the wrong way onto a motorway or something was going on. There were roadworks, like everything you could think of was happening. And I remember calling my dad in tears and being like, I don't know where I am. It's dark. And somehow managed to get home, but it wasn't till like 8:30 at night or something. And I had to go and do the whole thing again the next day.
So you
Baptism
went
by fire.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So you went from college straight into drum teaching for another company.
Yeah.
And then how long did you do that for with them?
Probably a couple of years.
Yeah. In the meantime, is that when you started the Itchy Tits?
So I joined.
Not started.
Yeah,
joined.
So that band started at college. That was a group of vocalists at college. They started this band, learned instruments. It was punk, so it was fine. Their drummer left. I got a call or a text or something asking if I would like to do it. They were like the coolest thing at college. So, of course, again, I was like, yes. And so I was doing both at the same time, which was great, but it was completely different to teaching. Teaching, I had to almost put a mask on and be this sensible, conservative, straight person that
and you're not straight
and went and taught people's kids, and it was all very respectable. But then
you're in this crazy punk band.
From
that
Thursday
was awesome.
to Sunday, I was gigging in and out of London, doing rehearsals, doing industry showcases, and all sorts of crazy stuff. And I'd be so tired as well because we were in our 20s. We were up late, and then I'd have to go do the teaching gig. So I'm pretty sure I fell asleep teaching a couple of times. And the kids were like, "You're asleep." And I'd be like, "No, I'm not."
I'm here.
Yeah. I think when the parents called up once and was like, "Apparently your teacher was asleep." I was like,
"Oh no.
No, I wasn't." So yeah.
Do you feel like because the Itchy Tits got pretty well known.
Yeah.
And when
within our area.
But still pretty well known. Do you feel like at that point that drum teaching felt like almost like the second option?
Like a side gig.
Like a side gig, and the band was taking precedence? Or were they on equal paths? Because I guess they're completely different things, really.
Yeah, they are. I think there was always like a power struggle, like two horses in the same race, and sometimes one kind of took priority more. I definitely guess it was almost like having a split personality, metaphorically speaking, because I would have to be this very sensible person teaching. But then I got to actually start expressing myself in the band.
Yeah.
Away from, parental influences. And at the time,
and you were very
I'd
young
go to
back
church
then.
and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, actually, this is more who I am, who I was always supposed to be. So there was always that kind of weird power struggle that I had with it, but definitely had a lot of firsts and a lot of fun in the band.
And then, so after the Itchy Tits, you probably did a few things with other people, other bands.
Yeah.
And then you joined the Ramonas. Through this whole time, you were then privately drum teaching. So Kate ran her own business, started your own drum teaching business privately.
Yeah.
Whilst in the Ramonas, and the Ramonas are a very big Ramones covers band in the UK and worldwide, you would say.
Oh, Europe.
Yeah. And you guys would go on tour.
Yeah.
Your gigs. So how did you manage your drum teaching business whilst being in the Ramonas?
It was actually better at that point that I was teaching privately because it was my business. I could make the rules up. I think if I had been still teaching for a company, it would have been very hard to get a week or two off here and there to just go and tour. Whereas being my own boss, I could say directly with the relationships I'd built up with the students and the students' parents, I'm going on tour. I'll be taking this amount of time off, but we'll pick up when I get back. And it was showing that I was in the industry. I was doing what their kids wanted to be doing one day themselves. So from an experience point of view, it was always really good. And again, I think it's about building relationships with people because they understood, like, it was fine. It wasn't a problem. And there'd also be times where their kids were doing exams, so they wouldn't have a lesson that week. So it was a real give and take, and that was fine. That worked.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, going to talk a little bit about students now.
Time for a drink.
No names, obviously. You know that.
All names will be
confidential
changed.
Or changed.
To be honest, I can remember many of my students' names from a long time ago. The more recent ones, yes.
What's the most common mistake beginners make when learning drums?
One thing that really grinds my gears when drummers first start playing. How do I describe this? So with a drum beat, the crash cymbal, the thing that goes psh, it goes on number 1 of the beat. But a lot of drummers, when they first start drumming, they put it, I don't know, on number 4 or 5.
Why?
Or they play their 4 beats in a bar, then put a crash, then start the beat again. So it must be like a weird bar of 5/4 or something.
So it could be like 1, 2, 3, 4 crash. 1, 2. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, so it'd be like boom, gat, psh, boom, gat, psh, boom, instead of psh, gat, psh, gat,
right,
gat, psh, boom, gat. So that never works with regular rock and pop music because we feel that in 4s. We count 1,
yes,
2,
correct.
3, 4. So that always really annoyed me.
Okay. Did you have students who loved music but hated practicing?
Oh, yeah.
All of them?
Yeah. I mean, to a certain extent, I reckon that's all musicians.
Yeah.
If we could just wake up and be perfect at playing because we mentally understand it, then we'd have so many musical Einsteins in the world. But yeah, definitely had students that loved music, but it was like, you're so close. You just literally just sit down and practice it and then you'll be able to play it.
Do you ever think some of the kids, though, they had lessons because they were forced to by their parents? So that's not like they actually really wanted to do it, hence why they didn't practice.
That happens a lot.
Yeah. I
feel like a lot of the students that I taught did it because they were enjoying it.
Okay.
I feel like they enjoyed my approach to teaching, which was very down to earth. It's cool. Let's just try it again. Technique's important, but we're also going to play songs that you're interested in. And actually, you know what? A lot of kids, especially like primary school age kids, they don't actually know what music they like.
Yeah, you don't. So unless you've grown up in a very musical household.
They don't know if they like pop music or rock music. They don't know the names of artists or anything like that. So in a way, I guess I can influence their style.
That's cool,
And
yeah.
just say, check out these bands. Let's play AC/DC.
Yeah.
You know?
Or
So
Foo Fighters.
Yeah, that's good. And then I guess eventually they start loving music in different genres. But practicing's definitely a hard thing.
Because it happens in like the dancing world. I know, like, growing up in that world, there were many kids that were forced to dance by their parents. And some of them were amazing dancers, but they didn't really want to do it.
Yeah. I think sometimes people would put their kids in for drum lessons more for a social and confidence
which is great
thing.
But if the kid's not interested,
sometimes they weren't getting it. Like it would be a year, and I reckon you could teach anyone to drum, but if you've got a sense of rhythm, then you're going to go further with it. And some of these students just never really got past level 1 really, because it wasn't their thing. They didn't really have the coordination for it or the enthusiasm. I think if you have enthusiasm in life, you can pretty much teach yourself to do anything.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, sometimes it built their confidence, but skill-wise, they never got any better. And then they just eventually drop off the radar, not have lessons, and then it'd be hard to get them back into it. You know?
I was just thinking a random story or memory just came up. And I think this happened not long ago with one of your old students.
Yeah.
Sent you a video of them drumming.
Yeah, I saw a video of one of my students drumming on.
Do you remember?
Facebook. Yeah.
And it was one of your students, and it was a really cute moment because they were a lot older now, and they were quite young back then.
Right. Yeah.
Do you remember?
I'm not sure which one you're thinking of.
Oh, I don't know.
But there's a few of my students that, on socials, I still watch their progress and stuff.
Oh,
And
it's
cute. There's a couple of parents that send me like videos of their kids drumming in the end of year concert or whatever. That's nice.
Yeah.
Nice to know that I had a part to play in their education.
That's really
It's
cool.
rewarding.
Have you ever taught any students where you were like, oh, they are going to be like hectic if they keep at this?
Yeah, there were a few. And again, because they loved music and they started really knowing what they loved, that spurred them on to actually practice that genre more. And then it was like, wow, I need to try and keep a step ahead of you because you're getting really good, which is great. You know, it kind of motivated me also as a teacher.
Have you ever had any kids where you were like, oh, honey, you are delusional. You are not good, but let's just keep going?
Yeah, I'm sure I probably did. I can't think
them.
of any offhand. But yeah. And I had a few students that were just like, I don't know, that session musician mentality. Like, I'm more rock and roll. Like, let's just have a nice chill lesson. And they were very technical, very let's do grade 8 kind of thing. And it was like, mate, just relax, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, teenage boys, eh?
Are there any other stories about students?
Probably many, but it's hard to remember on the spot.
It's really hard because it's been a long time.
Yeah, I think I told in previous podcasts about the gentleman I taught and his trousers fell down.
So
that was a memorable moment.
You have had to teach like an 18-month-old?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember?
I felt like she was
younger
than that. Yeah. And it was more like, I think I just sang nursery rhymes to her and took loads of percussion, and she'd just like, ha ha ha, like shake stuff. That was different. I hadn't done that before. What else have I done teaching wise? Recorded some drum lessons for Trinity Music School.
That's right.
Which went on their website. So that was cool, on rudiments, which is what all drummers hate, practicing rudiments. But
I don't even know what they are, but yeah.
Sticking patterns. I feel like we had this
We have. I still don't know what they are.
Yeah. Lots of things definitely happened as a music teacher.
It would.
As stories come to mind, I'll bring them up.
Right. Parents.
Yeah.
Did parents expect progress way faster than what's actually realistic?
I know
would you say?
that is a thing, especially when you teach in schools and private schools. There's definitely that expectation of there's a system called grades. You'd have it in
Yes.
dancing as
Yeah,
well.
we did.
So it's like a syllabus, that maps your
Correct.
progression, kind of level
Yeah.
1 to 8, and the pieces that you have to play, the sight reading, the listening tests, they
The
get
theory.
harder. The theory.
Did you have? Yeah, all of we had
drum
theory, everything. Yeah,
And it gets harder,
it does.
obviously, as you go up the stages, as it should do. So when you're learning that, there's definitely parents out there who get their kids to practice an hour a night, 7 days a week, which, you know what? If you're going to be great at an instrument, you need to put the hours in. I remember at music college, the teachers would literally be like, you need to be practicing 6 hours a day.
Jesus.
And we were at college for 4 to 6 hours a day, and the lessons were broken up. So we were always like, when are we going to do that? It's a really loud instrument. We get home and annoy the neighbors. But, you know, that is what it takes.
It's true.
Isn't that a saying like you have to do 10,000 hours to be professional at anything? It might be more than that. I can't remember. So yeah, you definitely have to get your hours in. But yeah, I don't know about the whole parents pressurizing their kids. I also think kids should just be kids. You know, you've got to get the balance right.
There is a balance.
I mean, you used to dance 6 nights a week or something.
I danced like 5 nights a week, 4 to 5 nights a week. And then I did a Stedfords on the weekends, and that might be both Saturday and Sunday, or just sometimes one day. And I was fucking exhausted.
No time to do your homework even.
I barely did my homework.
When's the time if you're going straight from school to dancing?
Literally,
it's great. You know, it teaches you a lot about socializing, confidence, skills.
It did. Don't get me wrong. It really did. But it also didn't allow me to explore any other interests. And I'm like now as an adult, I'm a huge nerd. I love science. I love nature. I love the brain. I love the environment stuff. Like I love learning so much, but I didn't get a chance to do that as a child because I was always at dancing. And I think I have a lot of bodily injuries from dancing as well.
Yeah.
It was just a lot. Like it was a lot.
For a kid. Yeah.
For a kid.
So I think everything in moderation, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really? Like it's good, but
I've experienced many parents in my dance mums and dance dads and dance days.
Ferocious.
Are insane. I've witnessed many of them in many different environments, and it's just relentless. And the kids are just either just used to it or they're burnt out.
Like little robots.
Yeah, it's really sad, and kids don't get to be kids.
I'm glad to say that I never experienced that from any of the parents in my private teaching business.
That's good.
They, again, maybe because of that connection, we'd always like check in before and after lessons. Yeah, like they made them practice, but not to the extreme. They had football and other stuff to do. So I never experienced that, fortunately.
And I guess you didn't really experience any weird parents as such, did you? Because like I
had a parent text me by accident once.
Oh, God, tell us.
I can't remember what the terminology was, but it was a very sexual text. And I was like...
I think was that in the last 10 years since we've been together?
Might have been just as we were getting together.
Okay.
And I think she recently divorced and was having some fun and texted me by accident. And I was like, what even is that? Looked it up and I was like, oh. So I can't remember if I ignored the message or said, I think you sent this to the wrong person.
That's so funny.
And then I also had another person, someone's parent, text me and start trying to chat me up. And I was like, oh, no.
Not going to happen, mate.
Yeah. So all sorts happens.
What's one thing you wish every parent,
yeah,
first of all, knew before signing their kid up to music lessons?
I don't know. The pricing structure?
Just give me more money.
Give me more money.
That you're not free?
I had a parent once, or a grandma or something, and this was when my business was running out of a music shop. So the music shop would take calls for me. And this guardian, whoever, would ring up and be like, oh, they want to come in for the lesson now. And I lived an hour away, hence scheduling lessons.
Mm-hmm.
And they'd be like, oh, well, she's not here right now. Oh, but he wants his lesson now. Well, how about Saturday at 2:00? No, we want it now. Like, they get really angry.
Mm-hmm.
And then they text me and I'd be like, I'm literally in another town, like an hour away. So no, I can't get there till 4:00. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. What about if you could say one thing to younger drum teachers in how to handle parents or what to say or just some piece of advice, what would that be?
I think in hindsight now, just be yourself. And although you want clients, you want the business, you want good clients. So
yeah, you want quality, not quantity.
Yeah. And like, think about, this is something that helped me eventually. The money coming in, it needs to be good money, not bad money. Talking like from an energetic point of view. So if you've got a client, but they're a bad client, they're late, they're rude, they cancel on you all the time, don't be afraid to say no to them and say, this doesn't work for me.
Boundaries.
Don't be afraid that you'll never get another client or they'll badmouth you, because you need to be assertive in your business and you don't want bad, rotten money coming in. Like, be loyal and stick with your good students.
I think that's actually just great advice for life in general, really. You don't want bad juju.
No.
Stick to your values.
Yeah.
Know who you are and don't take no fucking shit from no one.
There's always another option, like work-wise.
Yeah, just stick true to you.
There'll be people that treat you better. You just need to give yourself space to find them.
I think a lot of younger people are just probably feeling desperate to get anything they can get to start with, which we've all been there. I get it. But you're better off just to stick true to your values.
Yeah, and get experiences within the industries to justify a decent price for your skill. Nothing should be free. So never teach someone for free because it's your way in. Like, there needs to be some trade-off, even if it's a skill swap.
Yeah.
Or they give you a Mars bar. Like, there needs to be some sort of payment, because you need to value yourself and your skill. I studied for 2 to 4 years with my drumming, and I still study now off my own back. I've had teachers on and off. I have financially invested in myself as a musician. People are paying for the experience and the money that I've put into being the player that I am. Never underestimate what you give and what you put into being where you are now from a skill point of view. So never work for free.
Well done. That deserves a round of applause.
Thank you.
That was like a TED talk in itself. No, it's true.
I feel passionate about it.
I know.
And
it's your lived experience.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. Thank you, babe. Okay, next segment is about the contrast of being a touring musician, and not just touring, but like gigging musician and teaching.
Yeah.
Which we've already spoken about a little bit, but we're going to delve into a little bit more. What's it like going from performing on stage to then teaching a beginner the next day? Like, that's such a contrast.
It is a real contrast. I always enjoyed teaching beginners because it's something that I could confidently do. Whereas I guess when you're teaching more intermediate advanced players, you yourself have to be at that level. You have to, like, you have to turn up with the goods. And if you're a bit jaded from tour and you're tired and whatever, it's hard to get going. Whereas you've got a beginner drummer, like, I know that inside out. I know exactly what to be looking for with their technique, how to encourage them and motivate them. So
you actually enjoyed it?
I enjoyed it. Like, it was never a problem for me. But I do know guys who hate teaching beginners because it's so
an
basic.
ego. It's like an ego thing.
Yeah, and look, fair enough. Like, it's not for everyone. Some people are at a technical level where that's their thing that they want to be putting into the world, not teaching someone to hold the sticks and play bass on 1 and 3 and snare on 2 and 4.
That is literally the foundation. Like holding your sticks is the foundation of drumming.
I was always very grateful to come off tour and have my students all still there, still wanting lessons and not giving up on me because I disappeared for 2 weeks. So I was always very aware that they could walk away or find another teacher that could be there every week. So I was always very grateful when I came back.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Did you ever feel like those two worlds didn't like align, or do you feel like they actually worked in synergy?
Musically, they definitely worked. And, you know, because I'd have to keep on it for my students and then use those skills myself. Like playing Ramones music's insane because it's so fast. So the technique that I'm teaching my students and I'm there playing it with them definitely kept me
you
honest
practicing
for the gig. Yeah. So there definitely was synergy there.
Yeah. And obviously your students knew you were out gigging and touring as well.
Some of them came and watched sometimes.
Did they?
Over the years, I've had a few students come to gigs, which is really nice.
That's so cute.
Inspiring for them as well to see what they can do one day.
They're like, oh my God, my music teacher, my drum teacher's up there. That's so cool.
Yes, it was very cool.
That'd be really cool. Did teaching ever take away from your passion or actually add to it?
I feel like I've always had a love-hate relationship with teaching.
I feel like you have too.
Because I've gone through phases where I've been frustrated with teaching from the point of view of, I guess my business was stagnant in the sense of like growth from a growth point of view. And then I would go have like an amazing tour experience. And although the gratitude's there, it's also a bit like, and like, how are we going to grow this? How are we going to make this bigger? So there's definitely been times when I've been like, oh, I can't be bothered to teach anymore.
Yeah.
And times when I've absolutely been locked in and loved it and had other drum teachers that I've seen online that have really inspired me. And then I've brought that into my teaching. And when the students are practicing and they have their own goals that we're meeting, like it's very motivational, but it's a very love-hate relationship.
I think it's like that with all teaching.
Yeah, maybe all jobs. Like we go through phases of loving our job, and then maybe there's like a change of staff and you hate it for a while or whatever.
I think it just comes down to people. I think if we love our people,
and
no matter what you do, it almost doesn't matter.
Yeah.
What did teaching give you that performing couldn't or doesn't, shall I say?
I guess when I'm teaching or when I was teaching, you know, I'd have that 45 minutes or an hour with someone to connect with them, to help them. And with performing, although you're still doing that, it's not on like a one-on-one personal level.
Mm-hmm.
It's more, for me, performing's more me receiving like something and then people just really love it and connect with it. But it's more a me thing. Whereas teaching,
it's of service.
It's of service. I'm giving
anything of service.
And it's a different kind of
it's rewarding
joy.
Yeah, it's so different.
It's
yeah. That's really true. Okay, moving on to the next part. This has been, not having ever been with a musician before, this was really interesting to step into Kate's world. And obviously all of Kate's friends and fellow colleagues in the music world, I didn't realize how big teaching was within the industry of music. And if you can answer this, like for me, I didn't realize, but do you think people realize how much teaching is such a massive part of a musician's world, not just for yourself or drummers, but just all musicians?
It's hard to know because, again, I'm in it. So I'm aware of it because the musicians I know, back home especially, they all teach.
Okay. So every musician that you can think of, on average, how many are or have taught?
Have taught? Yeah, I'd say a good 80 to 90% have taught. And I think it's really humbling when you teach as well, because as I say, performing, you are giving, but it's very much about
it's yourself
receiving just that joy of playing and the crowd's reaction. Like it's not selfish or anything, but it's different to like purely teaching someone, and it's about their progress. It's about their joy.
What's about them?
Yeah. So I think when you have that experience of giving and teaching, it makes you a better performer because you understand what people are getting from you getting, if that
it
makes
does.
any
No,
sense.
it completely does.
And it just makes you more empathetic to people as well. And it's nice to feel like you're helping people. So I would say, yeah, most of the musicians that I can think of right now have taught or do teach.
So coming from a dancing upbringing, it's always been this saying, those who can't do teach.
Yeah.
And it's probably the same in the music.
Yeah.
Don't actually know if it's the same in the music world, but now being older and understanding how hard adulting is and financially, and especially like for dancing, it's seasonal. You know, you might have a gig for 6 months and then you might have a break. And I guess it's the same for musicians.
It's the same for the creative
It's the same,
industries,
you know, so the easiest, I guess, thing is to teach because that's constant.
Some people love teaching. That's their main thing.
And that's been their aspiration,
Some people love performing, and teaching's the second fiddle. It's a great way to make money if you have that loyal client base. But it isn't for everyone, but it's definitely, financially, it's definitely worth teaching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just found it really interesting because I had no idea how many people teach.
Yeah.
Like,
and there's loads of guys I see on Instagram all the time who teach on tour as well. So whilst they're on tour, they'll do like webinars essentially where they do like a group lesson on some of the technique that goes into them playing in their metal band or whatever. Or kids that are coming to the show can have a drum lesson backstage with them before. Like obviously there's going to be a pretty hefty fee associated with that. But for example, everyone knows my favorite drummer was Taylor Hawkins. If he offered drum lessons before the Foo Fighters show, I'd have paid £1,000 for that easy.
You would have paid any money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to be in the room on his kit backstage, getting any sort of drumming advice from him, to be in his presence would have been amazing. So that's definitely an awesome service that these guys are offering now. That would be so inspirational.
That'd
Whatever
be
age you are, that would be mad.
Yeah. What's something about building a music and or music teaching career that people would never expect?
I always say to people that it's more of a 24/7 kind of job, because you have to do the social media stuff, you have to do the gigs, you have to do the personal practice, you have to do the band rehearsals, you have to go out and do your teaching. You're always on.
Yeah,
and obviously you sleep, you eat, you go socialize, whatever. But if you're out to dinner and an email notification comes through, oh, there's this massive audition for this massive gig, you're gonna check the email, right? So you have to be on pretty much all the time because you're running your own business and you are the brand of your business. So I think that's something, again, people probably just think you turn up for the gig and then, I don't know, someone else organizes your week or nothing else happens. But you have to schedule posts. Like there's so much that goes into
business,
managing yourself.
I
as a musician.
remember when we were living in the UK together, you weren't gigging a lot like you do now, but you had like a full-blown drum teaching business still. And I worked a 9 to 5 job, and all your clients were from 5 till 9 every evening because that's when kids are. Well, that's when kids are free.
Yeah.
And adults, whoever you were teaching, and sometimes on a weekend as well. So I wouldn't see you because I used to go to bed at freaking 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't see you till the weekends. And
We'd see each other in passing, but that was it.
But then if you were full-time gigging like you do here over there, I literally would never see you.
Yeah, if I was teaching Saturday mornings, we'd have a few hours off.
Which you did sometimes.
Yeah.
So it's, it's a different lifestyle.
But there would be periods of shutdown for Christmas or school exams where I wouldn't be earning the money, but I want to keep those clients, so I agree to it. So you have to take the work when it comes in, when you're freelance. So it definitely involves having a strong partner to weather the ups and downs of
just being a musician in general and gigging and teaching.
I feel like
hard.
You know, we watch those real estate shows, and they're like
always on.
They're always working like 24/7 for these big listings, and like you get a call to do an open house, you're selling like a $20 million house. Then sorry, babe, I'm going. Because you're providing for the family. Like, it's just the nature of the gig. So it definitely takes a strong partner to be with a musician or a real estate agent.
Any of those types of jobs.
Yeah.
Really. Okay. We're heading to the end, Catherine.
That's it. Home stretch.
You've already answered some of these questions, so I'm going to skip a few. But what's a song that you were always, or not even just a song, it could be anything that you were just sick of teaching?
We used to, for the beginner drummers, we used to play, I say Aloe Black, I Need a Dollar. I need a dollar, dollar is what I need.
Yeah.
Which, like, gets a bit
repetitive.
Yeah.
What's one thing people get completely wrong about drumming?
I don't know what people's thoughts are about drumming. It's a lot more physical than people probably realize.
I think from a non-musician point of view, and I've heard this.
Yeah.
And maybe from musicians as well, that you become a drummer because you're dumb. Well, not dumb, but it's not that technical.
Or not that hard.
Not that hard. But it's freaking hectic.
I used to watch Mike Portnoy play.
What's that?
Mike Portnoy.
Oh, yeah.
Drummer from Dream Theater. Yeah, the drumming's hectic.
Drumming's insane.
As hectic as you can make it.
You're using all limbs at the same time.
And if you play like Latin music or prog rock music or jazz, like it's so hectic.
And then if you're singing as well,
it gets your brain going. Like, I really hope I don't ever have any mental health kind of illnesses because I'm using my brain so much for drumming.
That's what I think anyway about that, with that question.
Yeah. You're probably better to answer that question.
I think it's that.
Yeah.
Would you ever go back?
Is this a drinking game?
Would you ever?
Never have I ever.
Would you ever go back to teaching? You would?
Yeah. When we first moved to Australia, it would have been a no, but that was because I just moved countries and I was trying to get a regular job for a regular income, find a band, get settled, buy a house, find my feet, I guess. Now, I don't have time to teach.
You don't at all.
But I would teach. If I had an extra day in the week where I could teach instead of doing my day job, then I would consider it. But there's not 8 days in a week, so
there's really not.
It's not going to happen.
We do not have any extra time, Catherine.
One day.
Looking back, how important was your teaching era to your gigging career?
It supported it. It was like the hands that like supported me to grow and find out who I was as a person, because it just was that financial cushion, those regular faces,
was your constant as well.
Those cups of tea that I get from all my drum students' parents. It was that comforting cushion that held and supported me and kept me practicing to be able to go do the cool band stuff. So definitely really important.
Yeah. Did it shape you more as a musician or as a person? Or that's all encompassing?
Probably both, but definitely personally. So it gave me confidence to talk to people and to feel like I was making a difference and positively influencing like the next generation coming up and keep the skill alive. And also I'd always, be very, very about mindfulness and, when the kids or anyone really, any age is saying, I can't do this. I'll never be able to play this. Just really bringing in that coach mentality that you can do this. You need to believe in yourself. Let's break it down further. I'm going to explain it a different way. That's my job as a teacher. I will explain it in a multitude of different ways until you get it, because you are worth it, So yeah, definitely develop that compassionate part of my personality, I guess.
What's something you learned from teaching that you still carry with you today?
I mean, definitely like musically, there's things that I've learned from a playing point of view that I bring into my playing now.
From just being a drum teacher, like just from being a teacher.
Not sure. Let me think about it for a minute. I feel like there's something epic floating around my aura that wants to come out.
Do you know what, though? I think you've already answered that in the sense of it helped you be more confident. It helped.
Yeah.
Like, I think
it was the connections for me. Like, there were so many amazing families out there. Where I was teaching wasn't where my family lived. And most of my private teaching was before you were in my life or you'd moved over to England. So there were definitely times where I felt very alone and not understood. And I had the band, but obviously I can't live with the band all the time. So I had all these surrogate families because I would teach people at their houses.
Yeah.
I would drive to their houses to teach them. And I was always so welcomed as like that regular part of the family that came and saw them like every week with the cups of teas and the chats, and put the lesson in there because that's the reason. But then I'd always schedule an extra half an hour probably in between lessons because I knew certain families were going to like have a bit of a yarn. So yeah, probably that sense of connection and that kind of family vibe.
Yeah. Well, that's the end. Thank you.
Yeah, it's been fun to
Has it been nice to like revisit it a bit?
Banks, yeah.
It was such a big part of Kate's life.
Yeah.
And it was like when we first met, you were full-time teaching.
Yeah.
We're doing a few side gigs here and there. And that's part of the identity as who I met of Kate was as a teacher.
Yeah.
And so it's definitely such a massive part of your life. And it forms part of your identity. And it was hard when we moved to Australia to let that go. Obviously COVID happened and you had to pivot your teaching. So you weren't in person teaching a lot.
I was teaching online a lot. Yeah.
But, yeah, it was sad to see you stop, but it's a different chapter, and who knows, maybe you'll start teaching again one day.
That's the thing. It's not something that I'm ever going to lose.
Never.
That I'm not going to be able to do. It's etched into my soul. And, I work at a high school now, so I definitely still teach and influence young people, sometimes with drumming when I'm able to.
Did you help set up a drum kit?
Yeah.
Or change of skins or something?
Repair kits.
And you were like, yep, give me 2 seconds.
Jam with teachers, show the kids stuff here and there. So I definitely still have it in my life. But I'm only 41. Am I? I don't know. It's my birthday on
About to
Saturday.
turn 42.
I'm 40-something.
I'm
And
40 this year
who
too.
knows, in 5-10 years' time, I might be teaching again full-time, you know? Might have the mental energy to do it again.
Yeah.
It's definitely something that I'm still passionate about, and talking about it now kind of makes me feel that little spark still in there somewhere.
That's nice.
But I don't have time, unfortunately.
No, you don't.
At some point, maybe.
Cool. So, Kate, do you want to talk about our next guest appearance we have on the podcast?
So we have a few people lined up to do guest appearances. One is a wonderful man who I see quite regularly, Steve-O, who is one of the sound techs for the Frocks, which is the covers band that I play in. So we're hoping to get him on the show very soon. I've also asked some people back in the UK. I've asked someone that I used to be in a ukulele punk rock band with.
Mm-hmm.
I have other people in mind. You guys, I'm going to hit you up.
Yes.
And I reckon we can find some people with interesting, maybe weird, quote unquote, hobbies.
Yeah.
That we can get on the show, because it's
Definitely
interesting finding out about stuff that we have no idea about.
Like, I know that there's been a few people who watched and listened to the podcast with Jess we had recently, and they've been like, we had no idea that was our Jess. Like, they had no idea.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. Like, you actually get to know people.
Yeah.
And regular people are fascinating and interesting. They do not need to be famous or anything like that to be interesting, because we're all just people at the end of the day.
We just need to get to know each other better.
Yeah, exactly. So I hope you guys are still enjoying the podcast. My usual spiel, please like and subscribe to all platforms.
That's right.
The Offstage Life Podcast on Instagram and TikTok. Follow us on there as well. We video record all of our episodes, so please head over to YouTube, like and subscribe to keep up to date and get notified when we drop a new podcast, and you can watch us on there. Please leave us comments. I really love I handle all of our social media, and I get to show Kate, and I really love when you guys leave comments or DM us, because it's nice to know you guys are watching and listening.
We get to communicate with you.
We get to communicate, but also know what you guys like what you find interesting. And this is why, we do the podcast for you guys. And yeah, we're here. We'll communicate. We'll chat. Keep watching. We love doing this.
Tell us what you want to hear.
Tell us what you want us to talk about. And we'll see you guys soon.
That's right. We're going to jog on and jog off.
Oh, I don't have my top knot today.
You don't.
I just realised.
Giving it a rest.
There you go.
There you go. That's so 80s.
Bye.